Hey all, this is Frank Klezit, CEO of Vyral Marketing. Welcome to another client story for our real estate clients, specifically if you're a real estate professional, and even more specifically, if you want to become a great listing agent where you're building a database on the Vyral Marketing program of homeowners, you're communicating with homeowners, and you're getting listings. We're going to focus today on one thing and one thing only, and that is getting listings. And how do you use the Vyral Marketing program of reconnecting and building a database of homeowners, people with homes to sell? How do you position yourself as the expert? How do you position yourself so you're unique to all the other agents in the area? And how do you win the listing at a competitive price where it sells, right? And with a commission that earns you a good income and earns a good lifestyle. And today, for a client story, you're going to meet Mike Lafido. He has been a client for quite some time here at Vyral Marketing, I think about 3 or 4 years, and he specializes in luxury. So we're going to talk about how to get luxury listings today, which requires a little bit of a different mindset shift. It requires a little bit more of a higher end marketing. And we're going to go into what Mike is doing on the Vyral Marketing program specific for getting luxury listings in the Chicagoland area. A couple details about him. Started selling real estate about 17 years ago. Last year, he sold 45 homes for a total of $21 million in volume. That's, if you add up all the sales prices of homes, that's the total value. And currently, his batting average, he likes to call it. Go Chicago Cubs, Mike.
Hey, great year.
Currently, I know, great year. Currently batting 5 properties. He has 5 listings over $5.5 million each. So 5 active listings over $5.5 million, and no other real estate agent in the greater Chicago area has more than 3. So you currently have the most number of listings for any agent in the market for quote unquote luxury, right, Mike?
Single family, correct, as last count, correct.
Great. All right, man. So what I want to do is, for our listeners, I want to start off with back kind of before Vyral Marketing. This is about 3 or 4 years ago, when you probably made the decision, look, I want to really break into luxury. I need to market myself better. I want you to take me back to where you were in your business with the problem and the challenges you were dealing with to where you wanted to go back in, was it 2017 now? What, 2015?
I mean,
14?
2012, 13. Is that actually
2012, 13.
So maybe 4 or 5 years I've been a client, I guess, now.
So tell me, it is hard to believe, man. So I appreciate that. So tell me, what were you up to back then? What was your desire and what was your problem?
Well, my desire was obviously to stay in front of my database and bring value to it. And I can articulate my message a lot easier via words and video in front of a camera than I can typing long, blog posts and emails and that sort of thing. So for me, it made sense. It was easier. It was a way that I felt like I differentiated from a lot of traditional agents, because most agents even today are afraid of video. And so, back then, even more so, video was even more rare than it is today.
Yeah. Okay. So go specifically and tell me, weren't you concerned when you first started about making videos on a webcam and how simple videos might not position you as luxury? And talk about the attitude you had to have to break into luxury, which is what you want to do at that time, or were you already in luxury at that time?
Yeah, so I was just really breaking into luxury at that time. I was, helping other agents that were in luxury, and I realized that there were a lot of voids in the industry. And the one thing that I believe in is, being authentic and transparent. There's a lot of courses out there, a lot of trainings out there that talk about the languaging you have to speak when dealing with luxury buyers or sellers. And I think a lot of that is all hogwash. You need to be authentic, first off. You need to be yourself, because if you try to be something you're not, I think, people will read that. So I share that with you from the standpoint of, I do a lot of unconventional, outside the box, aggressive things that, many agents that are in the luxury space would say, hey, that won't work here. That won't work in this market. And I love when people think that, and that's even more reason why I do that. So even today, you'll see many of my videos, when I did a lot of my podcast, my viral videos had backdrops much like you see today. It was in my office. The one thing I will say I've done in the last couple of years on a lot of my viral videos is I have a consistent background. It's got my team's logo on there and so forth. So it looks maybe a little bit more professional, more upscale than perhaps today you're seeing the back of my office. And that's how I used to do most of my viral videos. So for consistency and brand building, I think that's helped me out a little bit.
Got it. Okay. I'm actually going to pull up a couple of examples here for you. But since we're going to talk about getting luxury listings, I mean, you've been in real estate agent for 17 years.
Yeah.
And you made a decision someday that you wanted to go into luxury. Let's talk about the mindset shift as well as why when they take longer to sell.
Sure. So mindset. So I was, helping some agents and offices that specialize in luxury, and I was shocked on how little marketing they knew. I do a lot with direct response marketing and, like I say, unconventional marketing and building brands and so forth. And it was one of those things, Frank, where I guess 17 years ago when I got my real estate license, I kid around and say, hey, I wasn't the sharpest student in college, et cetera. And there was a gentleman that was kind of my mentor to real estate. And I'm like, man, he was doing well and he passed the test, so to speak. So, hey, if Jack could pass the test, so could I. And then, 4 or 5 years ago, I had several examples of, hey, if these agents can crush it in luxury real estate, and I feel like my knowledge and my expertise and I can articulate and overcome objections better than they can, why can't I, do this? So that was kind of my, green light to say, hey, if they're doing it, you should be able to do this easily. Even though I come from a blue collar family and I don't live in a gated community and I don't like all the limiting beliefs that people tell themselves, even today, I think all that is hogwash.
Got it. Okay. So no special background. You just decided you saw all these other agents that were marketing luxury that weren't even doing as good as marketing as you could do. And you said, why not? I want to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing is you have to kind of focus. You have to start winning over homeowners and positioning yourself that maybe, hey, I'm available too, that maybe you want to interview me to come list your home.
Right.
And let's just talk about the commission really quick here. So just typically speaking in the Chicago market, if you sell a $5.5 million home, what is the commission rate on that goes to just you if someone else brings the buyer? Like how much is a real estate agent paid typically with the commission rates? And there is no average commission. We all know that. But typically, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, the federal, the Sherman antitrust law says, you can't set commissions. So everyone charges differently. But if you were to pull, random sampling in the Chicagoland market of listing agreements of average price homes, 300,000 to 600,000, I would say probably 5% is the most common. Some people list for 4, some people charge 6 or 7, but 5% would probably be the most common. And of course, Frank, when people go up in price, many agents, they feel like they have to compete by lowering their fees. So most agents in the $1 million, $2 million, $5 million plus price point, and I'm speaking for the Chicagoland market, but also through my consulting business, it's the same across the country. Then most people, when you're going into those higher end prices, they discount their fee. And I'm a big believer that when you bring value to the table and the seller will net more by hiring you versus the discount broker, you shouldn't discount your fee. So that's a big, kind of elephant in the room with many agents.
So if I had a $5.5 million home, you'd say it's 5% to sell it, right?
I personally charge 6% or more, but most agents would charge 5 or less in my market.
So again, I just want to get the numbers right for everyone when it comes to luxury. So 5% on $5.5 million is $275,000, and that's the commissions that paid out. And part of that's negotiated that goes to the buyer, the agent.
Yeah, even if you split that in half, that's $137 each, right? So if it was 2.5 in that scenario, I mean, if it was a 3% on a $5 million home, 6%, 3 and 3, that would be $150 in gross commissions before your broker split. Yeah. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be on this call today to realize, man, I'd rather sell a couple of those versus, I work smarter, not harder, right? If you're going to sell 10 million in volume over the course of a year as an agent, I'd rather sell, 10 to 15 properties versus, 90.
Wow. So we're talking about some serious cash here. So I just want to kind of be clear, luxury of real estate. Well, how is the commission determined? We kind of talked about it a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, so I tell agents, Frank, there's 3 ways to double your income this year over last year. Number 1 is sell more homes. Now, many agents equate that with working harder, which isn't always the case if you work smarter, build out teams and processes, et cetera. The second is increase what you charge. So at least don't compete by lowering your fee. Hold stat with your fee, and eventually, if you bring more value, you might be able to increase your fee and maybe trim away some excess fat. But I think number 3, the easiest way for agents to increase what they make this year over last year and potentially double that is increase your average sale price. So if someone's watching this and their average sale price was $300,000 last year, and maybe they don't have a lot of multi-million-dollar homes, well, heck, even if and you define luxury as $800,000 in your marketplace, well, even if you increase your average sale price to $600,000, which is below the luxury threshold, you could still double your income versus what you made last year by selling the same amount of homes.
Got it. So there was no special requirement for you to call yourself a luxury agent. It was just a mindset shift that you could do just as good a job, right?
Yeah, for me, it was a mindset shift that I could do a better job. Of course, I did a lot more research and a lot more interviewing, and I mirrored and figured out what was working. And, I'm in a lot of masterminds and that sort of thing. So, I did, make the switch a little bit with my branding and the look and feel a little bit. You can't be all things to all people. And so, if you want to position yourself as an expert, whether it be luxury or first-time buyers or whether it be whatever it might be, you have to brand yourself that, and you can't be all things to all people.
Got it. All right. So let's take a couple let's talk about some of the things that you do that you implemented so you could position yourself as like a marketing professional, almost an ad agency, if you will, that needs to be engaged to get one of these homes sold, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we did with Vyral Marketing, and then we'll expand from that. So we got you a video blog. Let's actually share the video blog for our viewers here on the screen. So do you see that, Michael? Is it showing up?
Yep, showing up.
All right, so tell me about this video blog.
So the video blog, the branding aspect, the name of the company I work with, it's a boutique, but it's a Christie's affiliate. And so, the header version with the black and the kind of the little, I don't know what you call pattern in the background, that's kind of consistent with, if they go to the Christie's site. Again, I've written books. I'm writing a couple more books as we speak. So I put the book up there as a credibility, differentiator. But as you scroll down, Frank, I'm one of the things that totally differentiates me from the competition in my market, in entire Midwest, for that example, is a lot of these lifestyle films that you see on the right there.
Let's you know what? Let's actually play one here. Hang on. So I'm actually gonna
do the second one.
Okay, I'm gonna share my computer screen so you can see it. So let's play this one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So for this particular video, I brought in 3 Lamborghinis, 2 Bentleys, and 2 Rolls Royces.
Let's watch a minute. Cool, Mike.
Yeah. It's got a 22-car garage.
Very nice.
So
16,000 views.
Yeah. So that's one thing that totally differentiated me from the competition. Matter of fact, it was August of 2014. So 2.5 years ago, less than 3 years ago, is when I did my first video. And I brought in a car transport with 4 luxury cars. The video cost me about a $10,000 investment. And so, like, if you want to scroll down.
Here's some of your very first videos 3 years ago.
Oh, that was my first drone video ever, that one in Elburn.
Yeah, so I just went to your YouTube page here. I just sorted by date, oldest. Right?
So if you scroll down, you could see what I was talking about, the old background. But look at that right there. Yep, that one there, 2 years ago. So that was the first video I ever did. Brought in a horse. This was a vacant house, so I brought in all these cars. It was a gloomy day. I had 2 film crews. They wanted to cancel. I said, we got to do this video. There's too many moving parts. I brought in a guy that was in a boat fishing there. I got another guy fishing. These are all people I brought in. Brought in the gal in the pool, brought in the kids. I staged the outside. Of course, the video cameras are much better today. It would have been more clear.
Honestly, man, this could have been shot on an iPhone. You wouldn't know the difference. You know how to use
Yeah,
it.
I mean, so it was a
An
very
iPhone
gloomy
today.
day.
Yeah. Well, so you have your property videos, but you also have your educational videos. These are done on a webcam with Vyral. So you have an extra video guy that comes out and does this,
Yeah,
obviously.
correct.
But then you have your Vyral videos of you just doing little educational tips,
Yep,
right?
yep. So like if you look right down here, Frank, to the right, yeah, there you go.
Hey there, it's Mike
That's the
Lafido.
backdrop. If you want to pause it, that's the backdrop I talk about. So most of my blog videos, just for consistency now, are with that backdrop. So it's my team's logo. Uh, I do bring in some box lighting, have an external mic. So for consistency and branding, you'll see that.
Cool. So you could easily go to Mike's page and see a bunch of
I bought that background at like a website. I think it's called stickersandbanners.net. I think it was like $100. It was like a great investment.
cool. So you have your property videos over here, but you still have your educational videos, right?
Yeah.
Hey there, it's Michael Lafido from the Michael Lafido Group. We have two topics in this week's video. Number one, an exciting new high-end property that we're marketing in Naperville, Illinois. And number two, we're going to be talking about data in the $3 to $6 million price point.
Cool. Good job. Intro.
So, in this video, I'm talking about an exciting new property I'm marketing that's $3 million. And I'm a big believer, Frank, that we're in a show and tell industry. So, in your video guys, probably drive them nuts because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But I have a lot of bullet points and a lot of visuals in my video because my belief system is if somebody's at work and they got to turn the volume down, can they follow along with my video are there enough visuals that they can get the point of the video, and vice versa? If they can't, that's my tagline. And if they can't watch the video, but they can only listen to it, can they follow along? So when you mirror both of those together, I think it's a great video. Look at, by the way, click on that logo. Click on that right there. Right there. Yeah. That's my competition right there. 54% of agents in my MLS, which has over 16,000, we have one of the top 5 largest real estate boards in the U.S. 54% sold 0 homes last year and 15% sold 1. So 69% of agents in our MLS sold 1 or fewer homes. So I did an educational video educating potential buyers and sellers saying, hey, not all agents are created equal. Do your due diligence before you market your home.
It's interesting for somebody watching this to like, oh, who's this Mike Lafido guy I've never met? And who's this guy in this office that sells luxury real estate? But there's probably a feeling the second I pulled up your blog, the second I started showing these videos, people feel a little bit differently right now. And now you're positioned a little bit more as an expert. You probably felt that just watching the little webinar podcasting that we're doing right now. All right. Is there anything else you want to share with this blog?
So, I mean, I love the blog, and I utilize the videos for, educational purposes. You want to position yourself as a leading authority, bring great content for buyers, for sellers, market updates. That's what I recommend.
Cool. So we went through your YouTube channel. We can check that out. That's all really good. Let's just actually take a look real quick well, no, this is actually fine. That's all I want to show. Okay. So I'll go ahead and stop the screen share for right now. Let's go back to just talking. So let's talk about when you first started with Vyral Marketing. I want to talk about what you did to follow the Vyral Marketing plan of, okay, I need to work my database. I need to reconnect with my database. I need to grow my database. I need to get homeowners and meet them in my target market and bring them into it so I can communicate with them. I need to record my 2 educational videos a month, and then I need to prioritize follow-up. And by the way, all this I'm going to cover here is in our official video marketing plan right on the homepage of our website. For everyone watching this, just real quick here, Lee, let me share my screen one more time. I'm going to go here to getvyral.com. The rest of this, we're going to talk about what you are doing to implement this plan here that you hired us to help you execute. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about really what you're doing. You're doing some incredible things like your networking mix I want to talk about, and all the things that you're doing to build your database. So when you first hired us, we had to reconnect with everyone. Tell us about that process, that reconnect message. Maybe we grabbed all your email addresses, we brought them into one. You said, here's what you're doing now. Talk
Right.
about that part.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously just communicating. I used to do a newsletter with my database throughout the year, but, I wanted to bring more
A
value.
print newsletter?
Yeah, print newsletter.
How often do you send that out?
I used to send it out quarterly. Some people recommend monthly, but I
So
try to.
all you were doing before to your database, which is your past clients,
Mhm.
your centers of influence, and then any homeowners that you're working that you talk to that may want to list with you someday, you were just sending them a quarterly print newsletter.
Well, that's what I consistently did, but I would do drop bys or stop bys for, my top A list of clients, so to speak. And I used to do an annual event where we'd rent out a movie theater and do like a Christmas party to get a picture with Santa and that sort of thing. So I've done various client appreciation parties, but physical newsletter was like the mainstay for most people. So I'm doing more digital now. As perfect example today, I released a video on my blog today just about 4 home technology tips that are helpful when selling a home. And I got somebody replied to and said, hey, I'm still about a year away from selling, but keep me in mind should you have anyone. Now, this particular guy thinks his home's worth $800,000. It's probably worth $650. So he's not a realistic client, but he's still checking out my videos, watching them. And so I think the one thing that maybe you didn't even put on there that I feel there's value with Vyral is if I'm meeting with a potential client, before I meet with them, I'll send them a link and say, hey, if you want to find out more about me and, or check out some of the videos that I've created to educate buyers or sellers or just market updates, click here. And so if they go check out the actual blog and, and scroll down and watch some of the videos, it's a huge differentiator. So even for cold prospects that aren't even added to my database, I'll reference the blog or drop a link in an email or text them that and say, hey, check this out. And they're pre-sold on me before they even meet with me.
So I'd assume before you hired us, you just wanted to grow your business. You wanted to reduce what were some of the problems you were facing with your business that you hired Vyral Marketing to solve? And you implemented the plan to solve. Let's be very specific with that.
Yeah, well, I guess for me, I always, and it can get people in trouble as well, but return on investment. So for me, if I could sell one extra home a year that's in the $300,000 price point or more that I would not have sold, and I could directly pinpoint Vyral as being, the reason that I sold that, then that's my break even. So I always worst case scenario, what do I got to do to break even? And so for me, I knew all the other benefits where I'd be building up my YouTube videos and I'd be differentiating myself from the competition. I'd be stacking the offer, so to speak. So I think I want to make sure I point that out to your listeners because, if you look at it from a whatever expense per month, I look at it as an investment and where am I going to get a return on that?
So you're spending $6,600 a year to hire us to implement this stuff, 550 a month times 12.
Yeah.
What is your ROI? How do you track it? How do you know?
Well, for me, I mean, I've gotten lots of business. I mean, I have a $12 million listing that I guarantee you, it was because of either Facebook directly or Facebook with my educational videos that I'm putting out there through Vyral. So, social media, I'm connected to people that I would have never sent that person a physical newsletter. It was through, probably Facebook that she connected me with this $12 million client. But I believe through my Vyral type videos, along with my lifestyle films, those 3 components, 3-legged stool is how I've gotten clients. So, so I know I've gotten the return on investment for sure. I've sold properties that they contact me because they're watching these videos versus we're just connected on Facebook.
Got it. So it's obviously helping. You've been a client for quite some time, which is good.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So back to, you wanted to grow your business. You wanted to position yourself as the expert. You needed to have a consistent return on investment that, you just want to make money more.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you buy marketing, right? So the very first thing we had to do was round up all of your contacts, your Gmail contacts, your LinkedIn contacts, the contacts in your contact managers. We rounded them all up and we reconnected with them. Do you roughly know at the time when you started how many people you had in your legitimate database? Like how many homeowners were you communicating with? How many past clients? How many centers of influence? Not necessarily how many emails, but do you know like how big your database was when you first started?
It's a good question.
Probably
I
hard to know
don't.
at this
I'd be
point.
guessing. I'd be guessing, but maybe 1,000. And I think our first email there was probably 3,000. So I obviously grabbed Facebook contacts and LinkedIn contacts that weren't maybe in my official database where I'd send the mailer to. But
Yeah.
that was the one benefit that I liked as well, is even if my database is based in Chicago, because I'm an Illinois real estate agent, I might have someone that's on my LinkedIn that's from California, and I might get a referral because they're getting these videos. Now, don't get me wrong, some people opt out, right? I mean, I got good friends that have opted out for whatever reason, but with that being said, if you position yourself as that leading authority, then other agents will refer you. I just got a referral this week for a $600,000 potential listing from a Coldwell Banker. I'm not Coldwell Banker agent in the town next to me. I've never talked to this person ever. And I don't know why she picked me, but again, maybe she Googled me and saw my videos and said, hey, this guy knows his stuff.
So I want to share there is we grabbed all your contacts and we sent a reconnect message out saying, hey, I'm Mike, I'm selling real estate. I want to stay in touch with you with my helpful educational videos. If you don't want to receive them, you can opt out, no hard feelings. But I want to keep you updated what's going on with Chicago real estate, specifically what's happening in the luxury market if you're interested. But I plan on communicating with you. That went out to everybody. And that kind of reset your database, and we started there, and that was the foundation, right?
Yeah.
And you kept realtors on there, you kept people out of state on there. You just sent it all to anybody. If they wanted to opt out, they certainly could, right?
Yeah, I think I deleted a couple competitors in my marketplace, but for the most part, yes, I kept everyone on there.
Sure. Okay. So we first reconnected with your existing list following the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So the next step in the plan, you have some pretty cool strategies of how you go out and actually get permission from people to stay in touch. So what do you do? Door knocking, calling? I mean, how do you go out to the community and meet homeowners so you can actually position yourself as the expert of choice? So when they're ready to sell, they contact you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the best things that you do. Maybe like the top 3 or 4. Let's go through those.
Sure. I mean, so, some of the stuff is not rocket scientists, but this is a people relationship business, and it always will be. So, again, people don't care how much they know until they know you care. And so I'm a big DISC personality profile guy, and I'm more of a D. I'm more of a bottom line, like get to the point type of guy. But I've lost listing appointments against agents that I know were inferior with their marketing and their negotiation. And looking back at it, it's like, well, there was that affinity. They built rapport with the seller where I was more like, get right into the presentation. So literally, I went on a presentation this past week, and it was a $4 million seller, and there was an agent thinking of joining my team. And she goes, man, like, you didn't do a formal presentation. And I'm like, well, I've really, built the rapport. I sent an email ahead of time with a bunch of stuff on me, and I left a ton of stuff behind. Of course, I bring my video book. That's one thing, Frank, I do that's totally different is I bring these video books that it's got a 10-inch monitor. I do these lifestyle films I just showed you. And so I'll bring that to a lot of networking events. But where I'm going with the story is rapport building. People don't care how much you know until they know you care. So one of the easiest things I've got a return on my investment is where I work out, my health club. I'm the preferred agent at the health club. And once a month, and I probably only do it 8 times a year, I set up a table and answer any questions for people. But now when people see me in the gym, hey, how's the real estate market? And that's the simple baseline of anything. Any business is being likable and building rapport. People don't care how much I know until they know I'm a likable and approachable person. So I'm become more approachable when they see, oh, I see you on video, or I saw your video. And so video builds that rapport and positions you kind of as more believable and trustworthy before they even meet with you.
Got it. So you do a networking group. So you talk about networking. Tell me a little more how your networking group is structured, because this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so networking, getting back to the topic about luxury, because the health club is all price points, but specifically for luxury, one of the things that I teach my coaching clients is to build a networking group that gears towards high net worth individuals. So their business might not cater necessarily to high net worth individuals. It might be someone from the PTA, but they live in a gated community at your child's school. So I put together a networking group. We meet monthly, and we cater to, or we're ingrained, our members are ingrained with people that service or know influencers in the high net worth space. So It's not a BNI group. It's not a, chamber group. That's how it started. I was approached by a chamber and said, hey, we're starting another, it was called a Heroes Lead group, which is kind of like a BNI, and it was just way too structured, Frank. They wanted to meet weekly. They wanted to take attendance. They wanted a secretary. They wanted this. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. A, I'm busy, and B, that's way too structured. So I built this group around what I thought would be the ideal group for me. And we got a lot of momentum. We're 2 years plus into it. And I've gotten a lot.
Do you have the group online where I could pull up an example?
We don't even have a website. It's a luxury networking group. It is what we call it. So our
people you know.
It's just people we know.
So we don't mixers at some of your luxury houses.
So we do. So like out of a year, we meet 9 to 10 times out of a year. We usually take Christmas off, and we usually take July off, and sometimes August. 1 year we did August, 1 year we didn't. So 9 to 10 times a year we meet. Out of those 9 to 10 times, 2 are I host, and then the other 7 or 8 are at another group member. So I have a guy that does high-end home theaters and security. So, we're sitting back in their nice in-office home theater with recliners. We're chilling, having beer or a Coke or whatever. It's usually from 4 to 6 p.m. We've had it at high-end kitchen appliance company. I have, it's called Chicago Helicopter Experience. They're in my networking group. They give twilight helicopter tours for businesses or husband and wives or whatever. They're in my networking group. We hosted it there before, and people took helicopter rides. So we've hosted at really fun locations. I got a Lamborghini dealership in my group. We've hosted an event there before where people could test drive the car if they wanted. So these are all business owners that cater to high net worth individuals.
And what is great is that you're leveraging yourself through the databases of those people, and it's relationship driven. And you're through them, you're getting access to people that have high net worth homes, and you get a referral. I mean, just the structured networking is like your number one lead generation strategy.
Yeah.
It's not a Facebook ad. It's
right.
This, which I
love. It's
been
great.
Let's get to
the biggest hurdle that I think anyone on this is going to have is when you don't have that luxury portfolio. How do you get started, right? And so I always tell people, if you're with a brand that's known for luxury, that's great. If you're with a brand that isn't known for luxury, that's okay. But perhaps you can mirror a luxury agent in that brand or in that office, or you hire someone, or you invest in some kind of certification that will help position you and differentiate you from the competition. And the third, I think the easiest way to consistently position yourself in that luxury network is to have some kind of lead generation, some type of show and tell, so to speak, some type of branding piece that is around specific properties. So for me, Frank, even in that last blog video that you saw, I talked about an exciting new property, and it was a property that I represented where that's one of the things that I'm trying to help agents with, is they can leverage some of our properties to position themselves. That's, I think, the fastest way to become a luxury agent, is to consistently have some luxury properties that you can promote on your Facebook or through email. And so
you let other agents promote your properties.
Promote properties that we're marketing, correct.
Yeah, so those properties are aligned with their brand too, which helps them out.
Yeah, and it could be an income stream as well. Of course, if somebody raises their hand, say, I'm looking for a secondary property in Vyral.
You can bring you a piece of the commission.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Give me one more, your next best way to build your database so you get emails and you add people to the Vyral Marketing plan of communicating with your videos. So obviously people you need networking events, people that are brought to you. What's the next best thing that you do?
I would say bringing value content to public speaking in your marketplace. So there's different, I'm not talking big venues. They could be, chamber events. It could be the Lions Club. Like the Lions Club in my marketplace, these are all, it's 90% men. They're 55 and older. They have money. They're retired. And most of them are 60 and older. And so many of them, you're getting in with these influencers within the community. And how do you do that? Is you bring value. Bring value by, educational real estate updates, or maybe speaking at these events. I speak at a lot of different local functions and national functions, and I tell people the fastest way to become a leading authority is authorship. Write a book, and then the next best is public speaking. And so I think that's probably your lowest hanging fruit is try to bring value and present. A lot of real estate agents, for example, do home buyer seminars. Well, when everybody's doing that, I do the exact opposite. When everyone shows up with their iPad, I show up with that video book. And so I do home seller seminars. So, hey, thinking of selling in 2017, here are the 7 deadly sins that most sellers make and what you can do to avoid them. Well, you line yourself with a lender, a home inspector, a home stager, and a team, your team of experts, and maybe the local bank will help promote it because they're trying to bring value to their database. So you don't even have to worry about getting butts in the seat. They'll promote it internally. You show up as a leading authority and provide value, and I guarantee you'll get clients out of it. So I think bringing value through videos to your database, or at live events is a great way. I have a truck. I have a U-Haul truck that's 12 foot tall, and I had a real estate agent that was doing 100 million in volume that says that truck won't work here. Well, she thought I was going to lend the truck out to $3 million sellers. No, I leveraged the truck through nonprofits and giving it to clients to use, and it was a billboard, and the truck paid for itself immediately. And so, again, thinking outside the box, when people tell me it can't be done, I thrive on that. And so unconventional ways to stay top of mind awareness to buyers and sellers for that matter.
I think what's interesting is how relationship driven your lead generation is through networking, through strategic partners that you get through your networking. So your network with a strategic partnership structured, as well as speaking, authorship, and position yourself as an expert through your videos. It's not necessarily if you're grinding out a lot of prospecting, or is it? I mean,
prospecting, you got warm marketing, cold marketing. So warm marketing is your sphere, people that know you, like you, and trust you. And cold marketing, of course, is people that don't know you, like you, and trust you. I do recommend that, people still do cold marketing, right? So that could be door knocking, it could be FSBOs, could be cancel and expireds, could be purchase leads. I do believe that you should still do some of that, especially if you're getting an ROI. And if you don't have that database and you don't have that sustainable luxury lead generator, then you're going to have to make some investment in some of that cold marketing.
Okay. So we reconnected with your list. We talked about what you're doing to grow your list, and hopefully there's some lessons about positioning as a big content authorship, speaking, networking, right?
Yeah.
How many homeowners would you say you're adding to your database in a given week? I mean, how many people are you adding to your database a week that own homes that might want to sell them?
That's a great question. I don't have that number. If I were to guess, I'd say probably 25, 10 to 25 is probably a range on any given week. Over a month, I would say anywhere from 40 to 100, probably in a month. So I'm dropping them into the Vyral campaign. I also do stuff with BombBomb and educational video drips with them as well. I'm a big believer in video emails as well. So if I get a lead from a cold prospect, I send out a video right away, and I redirect them to my blog. Great. So I tie in the educational videos, but they feel like, man, they already know me a little bit. I show up differently. I differentiate myself from the other 2 or 3 agents that are maybe going after that same lead.
That's great, man. So that's how you're building your database. You're adding people to your database. And these are, when you ask for an email address, you're just saying, hey, it was great to meet you. Great talking to you. I want to send you my helpful videos. What's going on with Chicago real estate? What's your best email, right?
Yeah, I do. I have terrible penmanship. I mean, but I do. I like to do handwritten notes because they're a thing of the past. But I also will do an email. So I'll do an immediate email afterwards, a way to differentiate me from the competition. Along with down below, as you know, on BombBomb, sometimes my video blog tab and so forth. So I'll encourage them. So hey, Frank, it was great to meet you. Again, look forward to reconnecting. And hey, down below, Frank, you'll see that video blog tab. Click on that. I create a lot of educational videos for buyers and sellers, and make sure you check that out, and that will redirect them over to my Vyral blog. And then, of course, I'll follow up with a handwritten note. Again, I don't do it all the time. I should do it more, but that's been really helpful for me. And I'll send little random gifts as well with influencers. So I recently was at an event in Scottsdale, and I brought in a cookie basket that was totally different, and it's memorable. So I tell people, be memorable from your competition. I do that by being an author with my video book, And if you're trying to differentiate yourself from all the other real estate agents in your marketplace, you got to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Be authentic, but step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And don't be afraid, A, to fail, or don't be afraid to think, well, what if they're going to, what do they think? Or what if Debbie Dinosaur says this about me, or Traditional Tim, or Part-Time Patty, or Analytical Alex?
These are all the names you have for your competition.
Yeah, exactly. And Newbie Nathan. I put myself in marketer Matthew category, but I share that with you from the standpoint of you can't worry about others. One of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, says whether someone says something good about you or bad about you, they're talking about you. And that's our job, is to be memorable, and of course do it ethically, but have buyers and sellers. And I have agents that they'll come up to me and they'll be like, hey, local agents, oh, it's finally to meet you. I see your videos. And I have Sotheby's agents and Remax agents and Coldwell Banker agents in other markets that have hired me or used my videos to market properties. And so try not to have a scarcity mindset is another thing I would say, is lead with a giving hand.
Well, you are through your educational videos. So let's lead to this. I mean, these videos are not about how great you are and why someone should hire you. These are videos where you're actually teaching and providing educational value. Videos arguably so good that someone would pay money to watch them, and they're valuable. So let's talk about this. I want to know how much time it takes to shoot your 2 educational videos a month on the core Vyral Marketing program. And let's also talk about how you come up with your topics.
Yeah. So I come up with topics several ways. I'll have my viral coach give me topics, maybe what's trending, that sort of thing. But I'll also do topics that are just unique to what's going on in real life scenarios. So
I'm just looking at some of the stuff here. How can I help you with your goals? New luxury listings, market data.
Yeah. So how I can help you with our goals? I saw another viral agent do that. I'm like, that's cool. So I did that. How the election affects you. That was something I think my viral coach recommended. Cool. The Ferrari one was just, hey, I did an event with, as you scroll down to the right there, a couple more down, right there, that blue, yep. So I did an event with Ferrari where we had a red, white, and blue Ferrari for test drive, and I provided actual images from the actual event, and we incorporated that into the video. It was a way to differentiate myself, building my brand about differentiation. And so I have pictures from the actual event that we teamed up with Ferrari.
Cool. Good job, Mike.
So
how much time does it take you to shoot these 2 videos a month?
That's a great question. So not very long at all. So usually 10 minutes each video. I say 10 minutes because I usually take 2 or 3, maybe 4 takes on them. My assistant and I were laughing yesterday when I shot videos. We're like, man, we ought to have like a blooper reel, where I'm dropping the F-bomb if I screw up again, So there's sometimes 2 or 3 takes for me, but I usually have like a big whiteboard with just some bullet points. So when I'm talking to the video camera is just slightly above the whiteboard. So I'm just reminding myself of the key points I want to make in my video. And so all entail for 2 videos, I'd say 20 minutes a month.
That's great. So why don't we just talk a little bit about viral marketing specifically? Is how does viral marketing help you from this point? So the next question I'm going to ask you is, how is viral marketing helping fulfill this? And how is your business different now? How has this helped you? And now that you've been doing all this now. So we started like why you did it, but just kind of complete the story here. Talk about what viral marketing does and how that helps you, and then how that has benefited you, like the cumulative effect of all this stuff. How has it improved your life, grown your business? Give me some specifics.
Yeah, so I mean,
viral do for you.
Yeah, so viral, of course, what they do for me is, I mean, if anything, too, when you're on the hook and you're paying, investing in something, it makes you get these videos done. And you might think, man, I want to do 4 to 6 videos a month, or some people might think I can't even do 2, but it holds me accountable to get good content out there, which is great. Which the indirect benefits of that is, of course, is building my brand and consistently bringing value to my database. So That's it's kind of held me to the fire with that. The other thing, Frank, that, you know, when I first met you several years ago, you know, I've always told that to my coach. The videos and the editing of videos is one thing, but I'm looking for like the cutting edge strategies, what's working. And so, you know, I'm always on my coach about, hey, what are other
what are other
viral
agents
clients?
doing? What does Frank think? So it's more of like, it sounds like the accountability and the consulting side of it are huge.
Accountability and best practices as well. Like, so that's why, you know, probably 33 to 50% of the videos that I do are video topics that my coaches suggested, like, hey, this is pretty cool, and we got some graphics or some links. So I'm trying to bring value to my database, and sometimes, you know, we go through the same old topics over again, and hey, what else can we do? So that's one thing that you guys have really helped me out with.
Let me show you here. Check this out. Email examples.
There you go.
The top emails that are getting the highest open rates every single week for all of our clients are on our website. Look at all this. So you can go on here and see the live emails for all these people, what topics they're publishing. And this is where we pull a lot of the topics. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and I didn't even know that exists. So I learned something new here.
Well, there we go. If you go to our blog, we put a lot of work into this, Mike.
That's nice.
Examples. This one right here got 32% open, 12% click for her. And then we have the top 4 or 5 runner-ups. We do this every single week. And you actually see the live email for all the clients right here. And how cool is that, huh?
That's really cool.
So it's right there on the website for you to be able to use.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, if you go to our industries page and click real estate, I have researched the top 24 real estate video topics with all the keywords and what they should be about that will get you the most listings. So if you want to check those out, I'll send you a copy of your coach's here. But this is with all my research: real estate projection, real estate bubble, real estate taxes, selling my home myself, buying a home versus renting, buying a home with no money down. I kind of give away a few of them here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to the website right under the real estate page and download and get those there. Those are the topics that you should publish for your videos.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I guess my last question here is, what would you recommend to somebody who wants to start doing this? Seriously, what would you tell them to be successful? Let's give them some specific action steps here at the end. 1, 2, or 3 things. Someone's going to spend the money. They're going to go to Vyral Marketing. They're going to go, you know, drop the $2,000 for the build fee, the $550 a month for the monthly, to hire us to do all this. You know, we'll execute, but there's a part of your bargain that you have to hold up in order to be able to get the results and the ROI.
Right.
So what is that? Let's talk about that.
Well, I think I would say, what is a sale worth to them, and what will they cheerfully pay to get a new client? So in other words, keep it real simple. If their average transaction price is $400,000 and they're in a 3% co-op market, well, that's $12,000 in gross commissions. And let's just say whatever, their walk away is $10,000. Keep it real simple. So if a sale's worth $10,000 worth to them, what will they cheerfully pay to get a new client? So
what's that for you as a percentage? Typically it's about 10%. So if a deal is, you know, $10,000 in commission, you maybe spend $1,000 to acquire it or something like that.
That's kind of the standard real estate. Hey, what do you invest back into your business, like, or market a home? What you know, 10% is probably the most common number. So for me, that's what I would pose to anyone watching this that is not a client of yours is, you know, you need to know your numbers just like I did. I said, hey, can I sell one $300,000 home more a year than I would not have, because I'm consistently touching my database twice a month, building my brand. So if people Google me or what have you. And so those are all like the bonus items, like the fringe benefits. And so for me, you know, it's a small investment to make in yourself. If you want to, you know, if you want to, you know, grow your business, just like, you know, we were talking previously, Frank, my certification is more expensive than other certifications, but I see the value there. And if they can get one more deal over the course of their lifetime, it's, you know, whatever, 100 to 1 return on your investment. If they can sell one extra $400,000 home a year and they're building their brand consistently through educational videos on your platform, I think it's a no-brainer, but that's just me.
So you have to know how much money you're willing to spend to get a customer to make the investment. Give me one more thing a viral client needs to know to be successful, and then let's talk about your certification. We'll wrap up. One more
Sure.
thing you have to know to be successful.
Just put yourself out there. I mean, good is good enough. I mean, if you do videos and you have the background like I have right now, that's the background I use for my viral videos, and I'm selling a video to my $18 million client. I'm sending him my bomb educational videos once in a while. So good is good enough. Don't be a perfectionist. Just remember, your competition is considering using video. And so I hate to throw the scare tactic, but it's true. I mean, get on board. I mean, I think it's 73% of sellers recently cited that they would hire an agent who utilizes video to market their home versus an agent that doesn't. So video is not going away. And so what better way to utilize video from educational base? Sure, you can do free Facebook Live videos and other type of videos. But if you have a consistent threshold twice a month or 24 times a year, you're going to have educational videos out there. I mean, I think your platform, Frank, is a no-brainer.
I do want to share something really quick, actually, an email I got this morning. Take a look at this. Scott was just interviewed here. We did the same event with him, but hey guys, this is from 12 hours ago. So I received a phone call from an agent in the South Bay. He's in San Francisco. Not South Bay, I'm sorry. He's in LA. For a referral for an $800,000 home in our area. She says she liked the video. He puts his videos up on his Zillow profile for free, which is possible to do. Extremely impressed by YouTube, the amount of info. But what I told Scott here is his videos, I don't think ever got like more than like 100 views. Like the views were very low. And you might have noticed with some of your stuff, it's not like you have thousands and tens of thousands of views. I mean, it's maybe a couple hundred if you're lucky.
Right.
But it's about who's watching your video, not how many.
Yeah.
And just to kind of show you that you don't necessarily need to worry about how many people are watching your video. It's making sure the right people are.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because a lot of my videos don't have hundreds or thousands of views. So for example, if I have a seller that I'm representing and there's an interested buyer, but they've moved on, whatever, I'm very successful with something I call the reverse offer strategy. Don't necessarily have time to go over it now, but I've done a video, a viral video on that strategy. And so if that scenario comes up, my assistant or myself will call our seller and say, hey, I'm sending it over to you a video on something that you should consider. And then when they click on it, it's on the blog, it looks official. And so these types of scenarios come up, and you can just refer to a video that you've created. So a lot of my videos are, hey, what are common questions I have, common objections, common misconceptions, and I address those through educational videos.
Cool, man. All right, Mike, well, you provide a lot of really good information for people today. I think the examples probably help show a lot as far as like
the show and tell industry.
Yep, show and tell. Marketing works best when you demonstrate.
Yeah.
Not tell. Right?
For sure.
So why don't you just give us a few minutes? You're pretty successful luxury marketing without question. And you decided to go out and teach people how to do it. Just give me a quick rundown about your luxury marketing course or certification. That's available, whoever wants to go deeper on a lot of the strategies and tactics that you teach.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it. So I found like there's a lot of experts out there that have been there, done that, but they're not practicing what they preach anymore. So, I'm based in the Chicagoland market, and we've been a buyer's market in the luxury space for 10 plus years. We have more millionaires leaving the city than anywhere else in the US, third most amount in the world. And so it's really out of necessity that I had to be aggressive, think outside the box. And so, there's other luxury trainers out there, certifications, and, I'm in a marketplace that's a buyer's market. And I'm not $1 million agent where it's real easy to get a $5 million listing. As I mentioned earlier, 4 years ago, I periodically would have a luxury listing. Now I consistently carry, a good amount of them. And so our certification was created using cutting edge strategies. And we also incorporate lead generation, as I mentioned to you. This is a show and tell industry. And depending on when this is going to be released, we have an exciting announcement that partnership, if you will, a strategic alliance with a company that if I said it, everyone would know it. I can't say it yet because it's not been officially released, but come in April, it will, where if you go to my website, luxurylistingspecialist.com, you can find out more information about our certification and this strategic alliance and what we're going to be providing people besides the education and the marketing materials and the mindset and the certification, which is a way to differentiate yourself from the competition. Over half of my certification, Frank, is cutting edge, best marketing strategies. So basically, to keep it really simple.
Yeah, do you have your books there?
Yeah, I have my books here. So to keep it real simple, it's part 1 and part 2, and both parts equal the certification. And for $997, part 1 is pretty much everything up until you have the signed listing agreement. So everything on the mindset, the systems, the marketing, to the pre-listing appointment differentiator, to the actual best practices on a listing appointment, to cutting edge video strategies, best strategies in video. That's Lux 1. The second part of the certification is, hey, you got that trophy listing or that luxury listing. Now, what are the best marketing strategies to get the property sold? And so that's something that both combined, Lux 1 and Lux 2, the marketing strategies and the mindset and the marketing systems is what my certification has to offer. And starting in April in 2017, we're providing done-for-you marketing materials where you can leverage some of our multi-million-dollar properties, and we'll create marketing pieces, Frank, with your information on them so you can send it out to your database. And eventually in the third quarter of this year, we're going to have landing pages set up for anyone with my certification, where now you can send out these properties, and if somebody's interested, it redirects them back to your individual landing page, which will also provide an income stream for you should anyone in your database buy one of those properties. So it's a show and tell industry. We're going to give you the properties to leverage. No other certification out there has that feature, which is huge.
That's great. Good job, Mike. We'll definitely put a good write up for that. So
thank
you so much. If you could sum up in one word why somebody should use Vyral Marketing, what would you say? What would you tell them? Or just sum up why someone should use Vyral.
One word, I would say differentiation. Okay, if you want to differentiate yourself from the competition, because I guarantee you 95% of your competition is not consistently putting videos out there, and certainly not on a blog platform like Vyral provides. So if you want to differentiate yourself from the competition so you can win more at bats, and you get more at bats, you'll get more clients, and you don't have to get beat up over fees, then create educational videos, differentiate yourself from the competition. And I think video is the easiest and most visible way to do that.
Cool. Michael, thank you so much.
You're welcome.